Hey guys, it's Pixelplot. No silly YouTuber intro today, because today we're getting serious. We're talking about Man of Steel. Not only talking about Man of Steel because Superman is hot and relevant right now, but I've been seeing so much rage bait about this movie on just how shitty and dog shit this Superman and the Zack Snyder movies are. And it's like clear rage bait, but it's frustrating. It's so ingenuine. So we're here to clear up the accusations about this movie and this Superman, and also give it a fresh look in the big 2025. So this movie gets a lot of shit for being dark and that, Superman is not supposed to be like that. And I get it, but you have to think back. So at the time, Marvel was doing it big. They were crushing it. Avengers released. They were doing great and it was like all lighthearted and stuff. And on DC side of things, the Dark Knight trilogy just ended. And Christopher Nolan had, I guess he had some credits in the story. Who knows how much of an influence, but you could tell that they want to do a more darker take and to make it contrast versus the Marvel, who was more like eccentric. So I understand why they went the darker route. And I will say this movie feels more like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man type of movie where it feels like there is a creative vision involved and someone's trying to send a message and tell a story. It doesn't feel like, just turn your mind off, it's another popcorn flick like a lot of, Marvel movies are these days. This one, it seemed like a more genuine attempt at telling a story. And say what you will about Zack Snyder and his movies and how they're written, but you cannot deny that that man knows how to frame a camera. His movies are always visually stunning, and this movie is no exception. Because of course, as you'd expect in a Superman movie, there's a ton of iconic Superman shots and imagery and stuff. And I will say this movie has a lot of Jesus imagery and stuff, like when he flies away on the ship and he's like, kind of like a cross type thing. I get it. And even when he's born too, in the very beginning of the movie, when he's born, like it like pans to the animals and shit on some Simba shit, like he's the chosen one. Like this movie has a lot of that. But I like it though.
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder's a religious man and he likes to insert his belief in a lot of his projects, I've noticed.
Like he keeps fucking using that Hallelujah song and everything.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hey yo, okay, we might get copyrighted. We sound kind of a little too on pitch, yeah.
And I also think that he was trying to capitalize on his style, right? Like DC wanted to get some of that action. I mean, say whatever you want about Watchmen, but that movie's a masterpiece and you know it is. And I think he wanted to translate that to Superman.
For sure. And I know the people are like, you thought Watchmen was a masterpiece? Yeah, that'll be another video for another day. We'll get into that. So this is about Superman. But yeah, some of Zack's previous work had that comic book flair, so it made sense to get him to direct this movie. And he didn't write the movie, by the way.
Yeah, and you can tell he didn't write the movie because it's not dog shit. Most of the things he's written himself are completely garbage. I do not like the way that he writes stories, but he does direct really cool. I mean, he knows cinematography. He knows how to aura farm. I think that's sick. I really like this movie, Man of Steel, because of that. I really enjoy the atmosphere, and it's kind of like how Sergio was saying. It's like they came in trying to say, like, tell a story, and it's kind of like turning the Superman character on its head a little bit. It's like an Elseworld story in a way too. That's why I think I can forgive it a little bit, despite all the criticism because of what we're talking about, that it's too dark, it's too I guess realistic or whatever, and people don't like that dark tone. That's why they review bombed it, and that's why, I mean, personally, whenever I say I love Man of Steel on the internet, I always get bombarded with hatred, people saying that I'm dumb or whatever, but I mean, I don't care. This movie's a masterpiece, and one of these days, if you think this movie is shit, one of these days, you're gonna open your third eye and you're gonna realize that this movie is a masterpiece.
Yeah, when you're on your deathbed, surrounded by your loved ones, they're about to unplug you, and right before you fade from this world into the next, you're like, damn, Man of Steel is actually kind of tight.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, it's so tight that it hardly made macaroni noises. It's really good. It's a really good movie.
So in this movie, they decided to spend a lot more time on Krypton. You get to see you get to see more of the planet, more of its animals, a little bit of how they work and the technology. And it's really cool seeing that stuff. And actually bleeds in and ties into the main villain of the story and why he's there on Earth in the first place. And it's pretty cool. I like the twist on it. It's very, kind of invincible esque, where they're here to just take over the world. Like this is our world, not humans.
And Jor-El was a badass in that scene too, in that whole beginning scenes. He was like jumping off the cliff and got caught by that animal, that flying thing.
I mean that's his dad, dude. I mean, no wonder Superman's a badass. And it's cool too, because in the movie he gets his DNA gets imbued with the Codex, which basically kind of holds like all the information of the Kryptonian race. Because apparently Kal-El is the first natural born in centuries, and that might have been like taboo or forbidden for them to even do that. But they believe that every person should choose their own destiny instead of all these Kryptonians being born to do one thing. This Kryptonian is born to do this. This Kryptonian is born to do that. They thought that their own son should have free will and be the embodiment of free choice and free will. And so they imbue the Codex with him, and he actually has the DNA of every bloodline in the Kryptonian species. So I guess you kind of say he has like the best of every Kryptonian, which could maybe explain why he's so like fucking nutty off the sticks. But yeah, man, Zor-El, not only is he a fucking badass, but he spits wisdom. Like when he's talking to Superman of what he hopes for his son, what he hopes he can become, the bridge between two peoples. Like, man, it's some inspiring shit that he's saying. It's a little on the nose, but I don't know. I thought it was well delivered. I mean, we got Russell Crowe as his fucking dad. I think, of course, he's gonna deliver that shit pretty good. But let's talk about his other dad, Pa Kent. Now, this is a pretty interesting topic. So one of the one of the only things I remember of this version of Pa Kent was him saying, maybe you should have let those kids down that bus after, he saves them. And that was the only thing I remember. I think like, what the fuck? Well, Pa Kent wouldn't say that shit. But when you get into the context of the movie, I understand where he's coming from, because Pa Kent knew that neither Clark or the world was ready for him to reveal who he was. The ultimate question is like, are we alone in this universe? He's the answer to that, and not only that, but he's insanely strong, and like his power is way beyond our comprehension. Like, don't you think we would fear that too? Like, he knew Clark wasn't ready, he knew the world wasn't ready. So I guess I get where he's coming from, not revealing himself so early. But I will say his death is fucking stupid. Like, the tornado, oh, you don't go into the tornado, let me go. And all that shit to save a dog, and he gets trapped, and then, no, don't come. I don't know, I thought that whole thing was fucking stupid, but I think it was to emphasize the point that the world wasn't ready for Superman yet. And maybe Clark wasn't ready either. He was still young and naive and headstrong. He's like, I think the last time they talk on some Uncle Ben shit, he's arguing with him, like, I'm my real dad, type shit. But, and I still think that with all the problems with Pa Kent, like his death, I still think he was really good, man. Because there's some scenes in here where I got choked up, and he spit some wisdom to Clark too, man. Where he's telling him like he knew what Clark was gonna be. He prepares him for the moment too. He's like, man, like one day you're gonna be something greater. And I think there's this one line I really like. He says like, good or bad, you have to decide the type of man you're gonna be, because that man is going to change the world. And I don't know, that's like, if that doesn't speak to you, then I don't know. I don't know why I think this movie has no hope or no message or whatever. Like that's some real shit right there.
No, yeah, exactly. It's a really deep message that I feel goes over the heads of a lot of people that hate this movie. It has a lot of heart, and the way that he said it, right? I also think that his death is kind of dumb. But it's like you said, it's just to serve the story that I guess I was just trying to say that Superman could easily save him. Like, it's not a big deal. You could just go and do his thing. But the implication that he had to tell his son, and his son, Superman in this case, having the will enough to not save his dad, yeah, maybe it's dumb, but it gives a message that as being human, sometimes you can't just save everybody. I mean, his dad was right, especially in this universe. People are not ready for Superman. I mean, I know this is just a Man of Steel review, but I mean, look at what happened in Man of Steel, right? Everybody started hating on Superman too. And I think that's the whole message of this movie.
No, exactly. Trying to prove a point, because That's where the realistic aspect of this movie comes in, I think. Like the fallout and just the existence of Superman and how controversial that figure would be. I think that's what maybe a lot of people don't like about the take, but I think that's what the most realistic aspect of this Superman character in the Snyderverse. What Isan was saying about that scene kind of showing that Clark has to show his toughness, his resilience to not act. Sometimes it's best to not act. And you see that a lot throughout the movie, like a lot of douchebag asshole humans keep testing his patience. Like the guy at the bar after he harasses the girl, he's just talking shit to him, pours a beer over him, like he do the shit, but he's not worth it. And you even get a flashback to the scene, when those kids are bullying him and he's like, he can't do anything. He's like, and he's telling his dad, I wanted him so bad. He's like, yeah, part of me wanted you too, but then what then? Would you feel better? It's the whole movie is trying to tell a message too about like, Superman controlling yourself and choosing to be better, choosing to choose like the high ground instead of just stooping down to the bully's level. And think about that too, man. Superman, his whole fucking life gets bullied and he still chooses to see the best in humanity. Not only through his childhood, but even through his adulthood. He encounters all these douchebags, but he still chooses to see the best in humanity.
He did destroy that guy's truck like completely.
I mean, yeah. Secret though, it must have been the wind.
Yeah, it must have been the wind.
But at least it shows, Clark's good nature and that he was raised right. Ma and Pa can't really raise him to be a good person and, to not hurt people. It's probably one of the things that inspired him to save all those people in this movie. And yes, Superman does save people in this movie, contrary to what you keep seeing all these memes about. As a matter of fact, let me just go on a quick list, right? Superman saves all the people at the oil rig. He saves the kids on the school bus, when he's a kid. He saves Lois in the Fortress of Solitude from getting, killed by that machine. Saves the jet pilot in Smallville from getting just creamed by the Kryptonian.
Fiora?
Yeah, Fiora, that big dude, I don't remember. But he also saves the jet pilot from falling. He saves his mother from, getting interrogated, getting beat up and stuff.
He saves the main dude when he was gonna knife fight.
Exactly. You're right. He saves the main exactly. And on top of that too, something that you don't have to be Superman to do, he saves a girl from sexual harassment, man. Like you don't have to be Superman to do that shit, right? Like, come on, like how can you not like this fucking Superman and not think he saves people?
I was watching or listening to a podcast, Sardonicast or something like that. It's just a bunch of dudes that review movies, and one of the guys was just saying that he thought that this Superman was super boring, that he was always giving the chiseled face. But nah, I think they're dumb. They don't even I don't even think they really pay attention to Clark's character. I don't think he was always just being chiseled face that entire movie. He smiled. He was confident. He seemed like a very powerful spoken person, but he was kind. Even though the movie was darker in tone, when he turned himself in and he was speaking to the general, he was being nice about it. He's not a dick Superman like people think he is in this universe.
Exactly, right? And that's what I love about this Superman. He speaks with authority, right? Like when he turns himself into the thing, he's trying to be as nice as possible, make him feel comfortable, like saying handcuffed and all that stuff. But then he's like, let's put our cards on the table here, General. And he breaks apart, and then at the end too, I'm willing to help, but on my terms, and he's very firm with his actions. He's not a pushover. He's willing to help. He's there to help, but he's doing it on his terms, and he's not taking shit from nobody, right? And he's gonna do it the good way, the right way. He's not. I don't get where this criticism comes from. This Superman, just being a dick or not being, so I don't know. I feel like his personality is very on brand for Superman. He's not gonna take shit, from people who think that they can just bully other people around.
Yeah. Plus, this guy's a furry, so what the fuck does he know?
I know. Nah. But Superman actually saves so many people that it leaves a trail for Lois Lane to use her detective skills and investigative work to find out, which is also really cool. I like Lois Lane in this movie. I like how she's very much a journalist in this movie. Even though she wanted the story to print and wanted the story, Perry Wright was like, nah, we can't do this. It's just for what it implies and implications of Waka Among Us and all that stuff. And she decides to leak it, and then I don't know. I really like this take on Lois Lane and how much they captured her journalistic side of her. But not to completely glaze this movie, one issue I do have with this movie actually is the relationship between Superman and Lois. Not that it's bad, but I think the romance and their kiss at the end felt really unearned. It just felt more like sexual tension more than romance, if anything. He did save her, but which by the way, he saved her from a gravity like bomb that was pulling everything in, but somehow she was the only one that was falling down when like buildings and entire shit's like getting sucked into it. That part made no sense, and the kiss after felt really unearned and out of place.
Yeah, Zack Snyder kind of sucks at writing or directing woman characters in his movies. But if it was a dude, a shirtless, just shizzle dude, he would have ate that up. It would have been the best romance.
No, all right. Amy Adams? Yeah, nah. How about Jason Momoa? How about fucking Henry Cavill and his fucking pecs, man? I swear, man, like his whole catalog is just filled with him battling his homosexuality, man. Like it's so crazy. Like it's so funny because in this movie, right, like when he's saving the people from the oil rig, he's fucking shirtless. They fucking show him, hey, shirtless? Yeah, put some fire on him. Yeah, that'll look real nice. And at the end,
some water.
yeah. Yeah, when he's like stopping the rig from collapsing, you know, it's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, nice. I have his nice sweaty fucking body, and then the camera slowly pans down to his fucking abs and his V-line, like, okay. And like right after, hey, Henry, listen, I want you to be shirtless, soaking wet, right? I want you to just jog onto the screen, just grab this shirt off this towel rack. Don't put it on, just, all right. And you know what? Hey, don't shave. Don't shave. I like the hair.
Ever since 300, bro.
No, yeah, no, 300 was like his awakening, man. So one of the biggest criticisms about this movie is the death and destruction, right? Because like this movie is like 9/11 times a billion. Like shit gets fucked up here. And my rebuttal to that is that this is Superman's first day on the fucking job, right? Like he honestly wasn't sure about even coming out of hiding, right? About the world not being ready. But then Zod forces him out of hiding. He just calls him out like, hey, you guys are harboring an alien. Turn him in now and all that stuff. That's what forces, Superman to, turn himself in. The whole movie ensues. But this is his first day, and this is the first time he's actually been in a real fight, right? Like he can't be in a fight. He'll just kill anybody he tries to fight. So this is his first real fight, and he's going up against like highly trained Kryptonians, right? This is like fucking Invincible War type shit, like a whole fucking gang of Kryptonians come to invade and take over the Earth, and the stakes are high as hell because it's either he wins or like he loses and humanity just dies, right? Like the stakes are pretty high. And I keep seeing a lot of, rage bait online of Superman just aura farming or Superman doing this instead of saving people during that fight. It's like, dude, if Superman turns his head away for 1 second, he's fucking dead. Zod will just kill his shit if he looks away for 1 second. He's going against a trained fighter, trained killer. It's like expecting Goku to save people while he's fighting Jiren or something.
Yeah, Goku would not save anybody. In fact, people would be like, Goku, please stop.
No, I want to fight you at your strongest. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't. Hey, what? You don't know how to fly, Zod? Here, I'll let you learn before you face me.
Type shit.
But speaking of Dragon Ball, this feels like a Dragon Ball fight, like come to life, come to the big screen. These guys really fucking throw down. You feel the weight behind all their punches. The action is intense. And honestly, man, it's filmed awesome too. You see everything. I really love the action because like the whole like third act of this movie is just balls to the wall action nonstop, which might feel a little exhausting, but I don't know. I loved every bit of it personally. And as Isan mentioned earlier too, all this destruction becomes a plot point in the future movies and people not liking Superman for this. But now let's talk about arguably the most controversial part of this movie, and that's when Superman kills Zod. Now I get why people might be upset by it, but I think it fits in the context of the movie, right? Because what do you expect? Zod says himself he's not gonna stop. There's only one way this ends, and it's either Superman kills Zod here or everyone on Earth fucking dies, And he tells him too, as he's yelling, begging him, pleading him, stop, and he's like, never. He gives him his answer right there, never, and he has no choice. And it's not, and he hates that he had to do it. He like screams in anguish right after. I thought it was a very emotional, impactful scene, but I think it was something that had to be done. It was like a necessary evil, like Invincible. Like some people, like you can't leave Conquest alive. You can't leave people like that will just like destroy everything.
Yeah, and the action in this movie, there's a lot of weight to it, and there's a lot of emotional parts in the action. So maybe that's why it didn't get boring or tiring, because there's scenes like that. The editor-chief, Morbius from The Matrix. Perry White, he's like holding the hand of that girl, like her employee, and they're both about to die, and they look at each other in the eye, and And it's emotional, and Superman is like, he's having the hardest time ever trying to like fly up and destroy that that gravity machine. I mean, there's scenes like that is just like, wow, like they're breathtaking.
Honestly, yeah, that scene got me really emotional too. There's some genuine moments of cinema in this movie, man. Like the first flight scene. The first flight scene is one of the best Superman scenes to ever like grace the screen, man. It's amazing, and Hans Zimmer's score throughout this whole movie it's phenomenal. It's fantastic. This is what movies are about, man. It's like fucking cinema, man. Also, I didn't know how to fit this in there, so it's kind of a little unrelated, but fucking Lois Lane just teleports across the fucking city where Zod and Superman were flying, you know, because right after he snaps his neck, she just comes into the door. It's like, dude, like they flew across the fucking city and she just boom fucking Minato her shit over there. It's crazy.
Dung 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 Shakur.
I also thought that it's funny that he gets the job at a prestigious newspaper publication with like no prior experience. I know he's faked all his previous backgrounds, but wouldn't these be the people to find out? I mean, they probably needed new people because most people just fucking died during the whole Zod invasion. I mean, Perry White and some of the people that work there saw Lois Lane kiss Superman, and those glasses aren't fooling anybody, so that part was a little silly. But all right, that's enough yapping. We've been talking this movie for way too long. We'll give our final scores. I give Zack Snyder's Man of Steel a 9 out of 10. The cinematography, the score, the action was all phenomenal. I love the message, some very emotional moments, but yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10 too. It's just action packed. There's a lot of there's heart to it. It actually feels like a movie, you know, not just like a superhero movie. And I really enjoy it. I could watch it anytime. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
All right, well, that's our review. Catch us in our next video where we review Fantastic Four.
I'm super excited.
No, for real. Well, catch you then.